Welcome to Nikki Speaks TV, the Relationships Series. The pandemic forced us all to slow down and do an assessment of our relationships. Whether you're dating, engaged, married, or divorced, we'll share tools to help everyone. Join me this season as my guest and I talk about all things relationships. Welcome to Nikki Speaks TV, you guys. Today I have an amazing guest. It's myself. Today I decided it was time. I realized that I have been interviewing people from all over the world, and I have not sat down with my audience and talked to you a little bit about what I do and about relationships, because as you know, this month, this series is the relationship series. And so I am a psychotherapist by trade, and I work with people on a global level, coaching them and counseling them in all aspects of their life, all aspects of mental health, a lot of anxiety, a lot of PTSD, depression, trauma, you name it. But more specifically, I really enjoy working with people with regard to their relationships. So guess what? You're in for a treat. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I feel are the 10 relationship essentials that every relationship should focus on. If you want to have a thriving relationship, if you want to have a great relationship, if you want to grow your relationship or maybe even repair your relationship, I believe that these 10 essentials that I'm about to share with you are going to make your relationship improve in some way. So tune in and buckle your seatbelt because it's going to be great. So first of all, what I noticed during the pandemic is there's so many people that were going through in their relationship in particular. And that led me to do a lot of research just to figure out what is it that we can do as a collective community to be able to improve our relationships and continue to love each other in the way that we should. So the first relationship essential is communication. Why do I say that? Well, communication is so important because without communication, we cannot be on the same page, right? So we have 3 types of communication. There's passive communication. You may not be able to say in full what it is that you need from your partner or share your truth with your partner. You are saying a lot of negative things sometimes. You may be saying put downs. You may say things that are hurtful to your partner. And then there's assertive communication. And assertive communication is the perfect communication. It's the communication that we all should employ. And what it is you're saying what you want and need, but you're also thinking about what your partner or the person you're speaking with wants and needs. And so that assertive communication is essential. Now, we don't always do that in our relationships. So if you have an argument with your partner or you have something that you're passionate about that you need to express to them, sometimes it does not come off the right way. Sometimes we hold it in because we don't really want to share every detail about how we feel. Maybe we feel that it won't be received in the way that we want it to be received. Maybe we are apprehensive because we don't know if they will stay with us after we share whatever it is that is upsetting us. And so assertive communication, though, is so important, and just finding those words, being able to trust yourself, trust your partner, and work on things together is just the best policy, I believe. Of course, aggressive communication, you want to stay away from that altogether because that can obviously cause some harbored feelings. You know, my thing is this. If you say something negative to someone that you're in love with or someone that you love, you have no idea if they are going to remember that again. I mean, you would assume that they may remember the negative thing that you've said to them. And so a lot of times you may say things in the heat of the moment. You don't necessarily mean it, but you say it because you're upset. Maybe you had a bad day. Maybe you've been going through a tough season. Maybe you are truly upset at that person that you're talking to. But guess what? You don't have to say it in a way that's going to hurt them or harm them in any way. You can find the words to say that will really speak to how you feel, but then also give them the ability to share how they feel as well. So you may be asking me right now, so how do I do that, Nikki? I'm not really sure what to say. I'm upset at my partner about this. I'm frustrated. I've talked to them about it before and nothing has changed. Well, guess what? What you can say to them is you can always lead in with a compliment. So you may share with them, hey, I just want to tell you how much I care about you. I love you. We've been through some tough times lately, but I do want to share that I'm upset about this. And I hope that when you hear it, you won't take it personal or feel that I'm attacking you or anything like that. I'm just sharing how I feel, and I want us to come together to find a way to work on it. So you've done 3 things there. You've shared a compliment, so you've shared that with your partner or the person you're talking to, and they know that you care. Then you also told them how you feel, and then you circle back at the end and you tell them that you really want to work on things and find a solution. I love, love, love solution-focused therapy, and with communication, it's so important to find a solution, which leads me to yet another relationship essential. I hope you guys are enjoying this. And that is compromise, which happens to be one of my all-time favorites. We are a team. If you are talking to someone, in love with someone, in a relationship with someone, it's so great when you can look at each other as team members. So let's think about the Cowboys, right? We're in Dallas, why not? So I'm wearing blue for the Cowboys. So when we think about the Cowboys, when they go out on the field, I would say you have to have a team approach. Now, every player does not make every move correctly, right? There may be a mistake that's made. There may be a play that wasn't followed. Who knows? But guess what? What people can do is come together and say, you know what? You messed up. I messed up. There was a mistake here. We thought we were going to do the plan. We didn't follow the plan. So now let's regroup and let's decide on a different plan. Let's come up with a strategy together to work together to be able to make this thing work. So when you compromise with your partner, there is an issue that you're trying to work through together, but you come together with the mindset of we are going to find a solution to this because A, I love you so much, and B, I want this to work. So don't give up. If you are in a relationship right now, you guys are having troubles trying to figure out how can we meet on the same page, what is our strategy, how can we get this back together, we're not in love like we used to be, we're not connected like we used to be, we're headed to divorce court, you can compromise and try to brainstorm a way to compromise together to be able to keep your relationship thriving and growing and becoming what you want it to be. All right, we have another one. Another relationship essential is Christ-centered. So if you are a believer, this is so perfect because you know that you have your faith that connects you and grounds your relationship. And so often we forget that. You may go to church together, you may worship together, and maybe you're not a believer. Maybe you just focus on spiritual practices, whatever those are. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to project my faith on you. But what I will say is that it's really powerful when a relationship is grounded in a spiritual practice that connects the two of you and that you guys can do together. So if you're Christ-centered, that's great. Don't just get so, bogged down with the routine of going and doing that spiritual practice without circling back and discussing what you're learning, how you're growing, how you feel, what those experiences are doing for you individually and then also collectively. If you guys have the ability to pray together, that's such a beautiful thing too, because sometimes, life can be tough. And you can be going through situations at work, you'd be going through situations at home, situations in the community, whatever it is that you're experiencing and having to navigate. It's so nice to have someone that you love and trust that you can come together with and you guys can pray or you guys can do a spiritual practice together. All right. So guess what? We've got another one. We got to get to 10. We're on number 4. And so our fourth one is connection. And do not neglect to connect with your partner consistently. So what happens with this is that when you first meet your partner, a lot of times that love shows up, that interest, that the need for intimacy, the need for connection. And what I will say here is that I really work with my clients on discovering their love languages. So many people have heard of the 5 love languages. If you have not, you can look it up on the internet. There is a quiz that will probably take you about 5 minutes at most to complete. Once you complete that, then you will have a list of your percentages as it pertains to the 5 love languages. So one of them is words of affirmation. So this is a person that really enjoys compliments. They enjoy being noticed. They enjoy someone saying sweet things to them. And so if you are partnered with someone that, maybe they score really high on words of affirmation, well, if you're constantly saying negative things to them, you're constantly putting them down, you're super critical, they're not really going to feel as loved as they would had you circled back with also saying some positive things to them and also telling them how much you care, how much you notice them and see them and are attracted to them. So that connection is important. A lot of people, once your relationship continues to go, say for instance you've been together for years, sometimes you may not feel the need to connect on the same level that you were before. But I will say stay as consistent as you can, because that connection also supports your love and allows you to feel that you are loved. Another 5 love language is physical touch. So with physical touch, it's just like what you would think. But it does not have to always be intimacy. It could be holding hands. It could be just giving each other a massage or what have you. It's any type of connection. This is a person that really enjoys that versus, maybe spending time together. Maybe acts of service is another 5 love language. There's different types, so I really urge you, if you have not yet, to look it up, and maybe you do it together as a date night where you both go online and you do the 5 love languages quiz and determine how you want to be loved, and then start loving each other even more than you already have. All right, so we also have collaboration. So collaboration kind of goes with the compromise and the teamwork aspect. So you both came together, you're individuals, right? And you both have different passions, maybe different purposes in life. Some of those may be intertwined, but most of them may not. So with collaboration, how I see that this is a relationship essential is because you can come together on some of the things that you both are passionate about. So if your partner, the person that you're in love with, the person you're connected with, married to, or what have you, is in pursuit of maybe doing their dream, working on their dream, then get behind them in it. Support them in any way that you possibly can. You don't have to be physically there holding their hand through the whole process, but let them know you care. Let them know that you want to collaborate with them. Let them know that you want to help them, and maybe ask them that question. Is there anything that you need from me other than support, other than prayer, other than financial support? Whatever it is, make sure that they know and can feel and experience that connection and your interest in what they're up to. You don't want to be in a relationship necessarily where you feel like you're doing things on your own and having to dream by yourself. Sometimes those dreams can be, like I said earlier, intertwined, and you guys can find a way to work together to be able to make all your dreams come true, not just the ones that you have together. Thanks for connecting with us today. Nikki Speaks Therapy is a platform that focuses on sharing tips, tools, and strategies to help you have a healthier and happier life. Follow us at nikkispeakstherapy.com to stay up to date on all Nikki Speaks events. I'm so glad you're here. All right, we're moving right along. Okay, the next area, the next focus is concern and care. How many times have we not felt our best? Maybe you felt like you wanted to have a day where you were in bed all day, you didn't feel 100%, and you told your partner that, you told the person that you love that, but they really didn't take you seriously, or maybe they had their own things to do. Now, I know that we're all busy, I know we all have a life, I know we all have things that we have to take care of, and so I don't want to be unrealistic here, but what I will share is that it's so important to just let your partner, the person you love, know, hey, I'm going to be in the other room. I know you don't feel 100% today. I'll be in the other room. I've got a lot of work to do, but I want you to know that I care about you, and if you need anything, let me know. I may not be able to get to it right when you need it, but I will get to it. That right there will do a whole lot of good, because that your person will know that you care enough to at least notice that they're not feeling their best, and that even though you're busy, even though you may be distracted with your own life and the tasks that you have at hand, you're still willing to communicate with them and let them know that you see them, you know that they need you, and that you will be there in whatever ability that you have to be there. So it's so key just to kind of slow down sometimes and be concerned and care about each other. life can be so busy. And if you add kids into the scenario, I absolutely know, I have 3 of my own, that it can be, a huge responsibility to also be concerned and care for your partner. But you want that love. Remember, this is relationship essentials that we're talking about here, cognitive behavioral therapy, tools, tips, and strategies to help your relationship remain great and thriving and growing. So these areas that I'm talking about to you today may stretch you some, and it may not feel 100% comfortable for you to shift and do some of these things, but in time, it can become a routine and it can improve your relationship. I do trust that. Okay, moving right along. So we've got confidence next. So with confidence, it's so important to be confident individually. Let's start there, right? So you're confident. No one wants to be connected in love with someone that's insecure. And the only reason I say that is because if you are insecure, then you're going to show up that way. And so you may be super needy. You may be very attached. You may not feel secure enough in who you are to know and trust that your partner is not cheating on you, your partner is not, doing something else. You may be overconsumed and overthink and worry about that because you don't feel confident enough within yourself to know that, hey, sometimes relationships can be seasonal. We do not want them to be. Most of the time, when you get married or you get into a relationship, you don't start the relationship saying, oh, I hope this doesn't work out. You want it to work out. Everybody does, I think. But sometimes because of circumstances, because of a stream of events, things do not work out. And so in those situations, in those circumstances, it's okay. You take the fear out of, whether or not you guys are going to be together for the rest of your life. The hope is that, you can be optimistic and work towards that, but just know that if for whatever reason, if your relationship did not work out, you will be okay. It may take some time. So show up confidently, knowing that, today in this 24-hour period, because we can't deal with the past that much and we can't deal with the future, we only have today. So in this 24-hour period, I'm going to do the best that I can to show up and love my partner in the way that I know that my partner deserves to be loved, in the way that I want to be loved. And if you do that and you stay present to what you're working on and you stay confident, I'm going to look my best, I'm going to take care of my body, I'm going to eat well, I'm going to work out and exercise, I'm going to, make sure that I'm clean, I make sure I do my hair, I make sure I take care of my needs so that I can be confident. And when I'm out and about, away from my partner, I'm going to be confident. And when I'm with my partner, I'm going to be confident. So the two of you together, if both of you show up in the relationship confident, how powerful can your union be? How powerful can your connection be? Because there's two people that feel really good about who they are and not even who they are, who they're becoming. And so they can continue to grow together day by day with that confidence and boldness in their relationship. Also putting really clear boundaries in place when it comes to people outside of your relationship. What are your rules? A lot of times when I'm working with couples, I'll ask them, okay, so what are the rules? Because if none of us know the rules as far as interaction with people of the opposite sex or same sex, interaction with friends, interaction with family members, then can we really be mad at each other if someone does something that we didn't really like or someone does something that we have a problem with now? No, we can't, because we did not communicate that. We'll go back to the very top of the relationship essentials. Have you really communicated with your partner what you want, what you need, what your expectations are? And if some of those are way off target, maybe your partner feels that, they think that you should never talk to anybody prior to them in their entire life. Well, we know that that's unrealistic, right? Because you had relationships prior to when you guys came together. But if your partner felt that way, well, then maybe that's a reason to compromise, right? And you guys can come together and say, you know what, I'm not going to completely ignore people that I've, formed relationships with prior to you. But what I will do is I will make sure that anyone that I was connected to in an intimate way, I will put a boundary there and not have any communication with them. You see what I mean? So there are some ways to compromise when your partner wants specific things in your relationship as far as rules go, but you don't have to completely comply with every single thing, especially if it's not something that you agree with, right? So, all right, so moving right along, comedy. is another one. You've got to laugh. You've got to laugh. You've got to laugh. I would say that is the best secret weapon for a relationship. If you can laugh with your partner every single day, make it a point to laugh. And that could be something very simple. Maybe you are going through a season and you're saying, there's nothing to laugh about. We're going through a tough time. We've experienced a loss. We're going through some, navigating really a strenuous situation. And I get it. I completely get it. But taking time to laugh, a couple minutes, 5 minutes a day, whatever the case may be, you will see, because research shows that laughter can cause you to bring your body back into homeostasis, balance that central nervous system back out, and it's really good for your mental health. So finding a way to connect in a comedy way is really important to me. You can send each other a meme, send each other a joke. You can watch a funny movie together or share a funny memory that the both of you guys experienced together. Keep it new, keep it fresh. Remind yourself of the relationship experiences that you guys have had that have been pleasurable. How many times do we spend time just focusing on the negative that we've experienced, okay? Because when you're arguing, a lot of times those negative experiences come right back up. We rehash them all over again. We're talking about them again and unpacking them again, feeling the same emotions with them again, and we're re-triggering ourselves when we do that. And so what the brain research says is that a lot of times when we do that, when we bring up old experiences and we start talking about it again without a solution in mind or reminding ourselves of what that solution is, we are basically causing our mind, our body to feel those emotions again like it's just now happening for the first time. So who wants to do that? Nobody wants to keep going over those things. So find something to laugh about, something to connect about that will cause you guys to just take a break from the stresses of life and find something to be grateful for. All right, so compassion. Compassion is yet another relationship essential that I think is so essential to any thriving relationship. Being compassionate and understanding with each other because you want to. It's so important to look at each other through the eyes of you, in terms of you being in that person's shoes, whatever they're going through, whatever they're experiencing. If it were you, how would you want somebody to treat you? And try your best to do that. Treat them the way that you would want to be treated. Some of the old sayings that we grew up learning, taking turns when you're talking. One person talks at a time, not saying hurtful words to each other, not hurting each other, not hitting each other. All those things that we learned when we were coming up in elementary school and those things still stand true in your relationship. Don't neglect to do those things because they're so simple that we often miss them, and they can show compassion in such a profound way that your partner will really feel the love that you have for them, even though they know that you're not going through exactly whatever it is they're experiencing. So saying that I love you, saying I care about you, saying I see you. How important is it to say I see you? I notice that you've changed. I notice that you're doing positive things. I know that you're working on our relationship. And I just want to say thank you. I was married for 20 years and it ended in a divorce. And at that time, I said, you know what? I'm going to take all the skills from the 20 years that I learned and within that relationship, and such a profound, beautiful relationship that gave me 3 beautiful children, I'm going to take all those tools, those tips, those strategies that I learned professionally and then also personally and package them up and share them with the world. And that's why I'm spending time today on my brand to not interview anyone, but to talk to you specifically about what I feel are great relationship essentials, tools, and things for you to focus on. They all start with C's so that you can see each other. And these are just, little tidbits that I wanted to share with you all today just so that you could see how important it is just to do the little things so that they can become the big things and your relationship can grow in a way that you never thought possible. Awesome. So let me see. I think I did everything. Okay. Consistency is the very last one. So with every single thing I said today, I said communication, I said Christ-centered or some type of spiritual practice, I said compromise, I said collaboration, I said concern and care, I said confidence, I said connection, compassion, and comedy. With all of these, the very last one is consistency. So I truly believe if you try your best, because I know it's just, you got to do the best that you can, Try to be consistent in all these different categories and all these different areas, and I truly believe you're going to see your relationship grow in ways that it never did before. If you want to connect with me, work with me, I would love to have that opportunity to go alongside the journey with you and your partner, your loved one, the person you're in a relationship with and committed to. And let's figure this thing out together. Let's find a way to make it last forever. And I will do the best that I can, and I expect that you do the same. And I hope and pray that you've enjoyed this season, this session, this series where I've talked to you about relationship essentials. Thank you all for joining my show today on Nikki Speaks TV, the Relationship Series. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, or you can visit me at nikkispeakstherapy.com. See you next time.